say a lot of things with statistics, and I see the percentage that crime is down 42% since 2021. But if you look back to pre-pandemic, and I know you like to say that overall crime is down 12% since the pandemic, but murders are up 200%, felony assault is up 55%, and burglary is up 140%. So are you saying that this is progress?
Are you talking about statewide, city, or subway?
No, crime in the transit system. I'm sorry, Governor. Yes, crime in the subway system.
Okay, you want to answer that?
He said that he would do it again if necessary, if there was a present threat. What do you make of the comments?
Well, doesn't that, I just feel like that tells us everything. If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally express remorse. And so the fact that a person may express no remorse indicates that there's a risk that it may happen again. And if we do not want to unleash that level of violence, then we should exert a level of accountability to prevent that from happening again.
Police make an arrest in connection to the horrific attack on a New York City subway. The NYPD says a woman was sleeping on the train this morning before she was deliberately set on fire by another passenger. The woman, who is yet to be identified, has died.
Let's get out there to Germany. We're still following this deadly Christmas attack there at one of these Christmas markets. Well, now we have new reporting in from the Wall Street Journal saying that the driver rammed a car into a Christmas market in the eastern German town of Magdeburg, leaving at least 2 dead and more than 60 wounded.
There has got to be a point where we have to acknowledge that evil is not dependent upon the implement used. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification of multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below, and if you like channel-like content, what I do, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. And once again, comments on gun-related channels are being removed without notice. So please be aware this is happening. If I remove your comment, I will tell you. Let's talk about this. And there are two very prominent stories that I want to talk to you about that happened over the last 5 days. One in another country and one right here. The reason why I'm bringing these stories up is because, once again, because of the nature of the crimes being committed, they will disappear very quickly and very quietly. Why? Because the implements used in those crimes do not fit a narrative. Now, I have to mention one in a foreign country because it's very reminiscent of something that happened here. I'll start there. Saturday in Germany, Munich, a man drove a car through what was apparently a Christmas type parade where there are just masses of people just hanging out, and this man took his car and drove right through.
This morning, German authorities confirmed that 5 people were killed and more than 200 others were injured after a car drove into a crowded Christmas market near Berlin. Investigators are looking into the past of a Saudi Arabian doctor who they say drove the car at speed into the crowd.
As the investigation into the motives of yesterday's attacker continue, the police have confirmed that one of the dead is a small child. Due to the severity of some of the injuries, the death toll is expected to rise.
Now, the number of dead and injured keeps changing, but as of last count, we have 5 people dead, and they're saying up to 200 people injured. 1 man, 1 car. The German police and the authorities are claiming this is a terrorist event, as this person allegedly is from Saudi Arabia, and this was done purely on purpose and pure malice and spite. I've seen the video of the actual event. And of course I can't post it because YouTube will basically age restrict the video. But it is on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, and it is pretty damn brutal. Now, I'm going to refer you back to an event that happened here in the United States. A man took a vehicle and plowed through a Christmas parade and killed, 5 people. These victims will be forgotten. And once again, I have to bring, and I'll even reiterate this at the end, that what would we be talking about if a firearm had been used? What story would we be hearing? Another event happened here in New York City 1 day ago. A woman who was basically in a seated position, who was asleep, had a blanket over her on a train out in Coney Island. Another person who has been identified as a legal immigrant from Guatemala, without question, with no interaction, no knowledge of the victim, no connection between them, set the woman on fire.
This happened early this morning around 7:30 at the Stillwell Avenue station in Coney Island, which is in Brooklyn. And this is the end of the subway line. Now, police tell us that there was a woman who appeared to be sleeping on the subway car. The subway car was not moving at the time. And then the suspect approached her, lit her on fire, apparently using a lighter. That's what we learned during the press conference just a short while ago. The woman immediately caught fire. She was engulfed in flames, and officers that were patrolling the station at that hour were able to respond and put out the flames. They were unfortunately not able to save her. EMS responded to the scene, and the woman was pronounced dead at the scene.
Who we believe carried out one of the most just depraved crimes one person could possibly commit against another human being. And it took the life of an innocent New Yorker.
So you have an empty train car. You have an individual who approaches this woman who's sleeping. He uses this lighter, according to the video that was downloaded from that train car, to set the blanket that she is wearing on fire. And that fire expands until it awakens her. But at this point, she's engulfed in flames and stands up. At that point, the individual who set her on fire has retreated from the train car and sat down in the station on a bench to watch her stand and burn.
And she basically burned to death and stood there and watched as this event went down. He then left the train, sat on a bench, and once again, New York Post has this. There's a video of somebody videotaping it. I'm not sure why people have this inclination to videotape and not react first. This person is videotaping this woman burning to death, making all kinds of exclamations and claims, but I'm like, did you call the police? What are you doing to help this woman? Nothing. You're just videotaping it. It is a strange affair in our society where this is more important to videotape than to actually take action to maybe save this woman's life. But police on an upper level saw the smoke, ran down, and tried to help and did what they could. But this woman did die at the scene. They then immediately put out images of this man, and he was, I believe it was a high school student, saw him on another train and called the police. The police then stopped that train at a stop, went on and arrested this person, and he's now in custody. Now, the media, especially the liberal media, is making a big deal out of the fact that this guy came into the United States in 2018 to point out, well, Trump was in charge, which is irrelevant. But this person was arrested in Arizona prior to this event and released. He should have been deported immediately. If you're here illegally and you commit any crime, you should be deported. This shouldn't even be a question. But the fact that he upped his game and took another person's life, which makes you question what kind of mental state this person has, because in order to do something like that, you got to be one callous individual. You got to have some serious mental and moral issues to do something like this. But now they have him in custody. He's obviously, once they charge him, he's gonna do a hefty prison sentence. If he isn't doing life, I don't know anything else. This kind of action does call for the death penalty. But why am I bringing these two events up? As I said before, and I'm going to reiterate, imagine if both these situations had been committed with a firearm. What would we be talking about now? How many people would be at the forefront of screaming for gun control? They're not going to call for anything in these events. As a matter of fact, these events, like I said, will disappear quickly and quietly because they do not fit any narrative that can be exploited for political gain. And it's a real damn shame that people have to lose their lives and be ignored because their deaths and the method used doesn't fit any specific narrative to push for ideals that will not prevent these things in the first place. But once again, it doesn't fit the narrative that they need to push for something that has nothing to do with the actual event. And it's a real shock and shame because people lose their lives every day for all different kinds of reasons. But the only time we hear anything about it and the only time there's any action taken or called for is when a firearm, and a very specific firearm, is implemented. Prayers and thoughts are always appropriate when a firearm is not involved. When a firearm is involved, all of a sudden they're screaming. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. We need to do more. My heart goes out to these people because, once again, they will be ignored. And it's a real damn shame that this woman in New York and the people in Germany have to endure the pain and suffering of these murders and attempted murders, but because the implement used was not a firearm, it's of no consequence. And they'll just shrug their shoulders and move on. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.